Some say he's a technical whiz. Some say he was born in Cornwall. While some say that he's on a journey. It's The Journey. And here's your host, David Hackett.
Known for her impactful work as a creative life coach, growth mentor, author and podcaster, this person offers support to people from diverse backgrounds in unshackling themselves from wherever it is that holds them back from living the life they truly dream of. The colourful life our guest today on a journey and a wealth of knowledge she has gathered as a global sales manager, actress and in-house coach makes her work in so transformational. She's been on stages and TV shows as an actress, and she gives lectures on sustainable people management and communication and holds workshops on topics related to the eternal, and we will talk about this no doubt, question how to go all out living. Welcome to The Journey, Sabrina Lindner. And I hope I get this right, Lindner.
You tried really well. Sabrina Lindner, yes. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
No worries. So, as I always say, and I said it just before we started recording, where did your journey begin?
Well, that's a matter of perspective, I would say, because of course my journey began maybe with my birth into this world. And I would say that I have always had this drive for freedom since I was a young kid. I've always wanted to jump out of boxes. I've always felt that I don't really want to fit into them. I want to sort of path my own way. And I would say that's where my real journey began because even when I finished high school and I was about to go to study political science, after the first semester at university, I realized, no, it's not really for me. And I started feeling very uncomfortable and as if I'm in a place where I don't belong and where I shouldn't be, and in a place where I'm wasting my time, so to speak. You know, I was looking around me and feeling like I can't really make a connection with people here. There's something that's just not right.
Yeah.
And I tried to really persevere because I thought political science was my dream and I would make a difference once I've studied it. But it just didn't land with me. And after one semester, I talked to my family and was like, I need to do something else. I need to get out there, experience the world, how it really is, and not talk theory anymore. And that's how I ended up in Kenya, in Nairobi. And that was really a turning point in my life's journey, I would say, because when I moved to Nairobi on my own, just having finished high school, it was, of course, a very impactful experience in a different culture, in a country that I didn't know before. And I had to sort of find my own way around, make new friends, find my place in that country, that culture, that city. And of course, it really shaped how I view the world today. And it also changed a lot of my thoughts about human beings, about how our mind and our emotions work. And it had a lot of impact on how I discovered that, yes, we all are different, of course. Across the globe, we have different beliefs. We have experienced life in a different way, but fundamentally, we are all the same.
Yeah.
And that was I knew that even before, but it was just such an eye-opener to see that and to learn how everyone views the world in a slightly different way, how everyone has a different filter. And I believe it shaped a lot of what I do as a coach today and how I support the clients I work with to really unshackle what holds them back to be on their life's journey, basically, and to
Yeah.
move forward in life in the way they would really like to.
Because from what you're saying, and I understand it, hopefully I do, when you was that age, it was about self-discovery to be on that path, and because you wanted to put yourself where you knew you wanted to be.
Yes, absolutely. And the funny thing is that I didn't really know where exactly I needed to be, what the exact place was, but I realized something was off. I could really feel like I wasn't on the right path on my journey. And changing places, and sometimes the universe works in interesting ways. It was all coincidence that I ended up in Kenya and in Nairobi, but in the end it became my home for 15 years. So life, when we let it happen and we put ourselves out there to experience, and we become open to receive whatever opportunities are there for us to receive, then really amazing things can happen. But we have to be sort of open to tune into what we truly feel and let go of all the expectations, all the obligations we feel we have, all the fears that crop up when we are like, oh, we have to change something, but how will it turn out? Often we shy away from making changes because of that. But once we don't shy away and we really take steps, that's when things come our way, things that really work for us.
So, obviously, coming from Germany to Nairobi and all that, it was about adapting again, because obviously I know how Germany is for winter. It's cold. You go to somewhere like there, it's a lot warmer. So, but that's not the difference I'm getting at. The difference is you had to adapt to a lot of changes to fit in and adapt.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the climate was awesome. I absolutely loved the warmth. So I was happy to leave winter behind. But you are right. It was more about discovering, and the differences in how we people think is not always obvious. And discovering that what I perceived as the truth, because I was a young adult then, I was obviously like very much believing that what I would see as the truth is the truth for everyone else. And that was one of the big lessons that I learned. Like, no, it doesn't have to be at all. Someone else can see the same thing I see and have a totally different interpretation of the situation or of the thing, whatever it is. And that was really, it was a big lesson to learn. And it was a big eye-opener for me to even be able to, survive in an international setting as a sales manager later, where it was like a global team with so many different cultures. I believed it sort of paved the way for me as well to be able to fulfill that role in a way that was actually required.
Did you ever feel out of your depth?
I mean, I felt shaken a few times, definitely, because, especially when I would travel to the countryside, I would just stick out simply because I looked different. And I had not experienced that before. So sometimes I was a bit like, oh, can't I just walk somewhere without being seen for a moment? But on the other hand, I learned to also have a very different perspective on how people view differences, because there it was more like curiosity. Oh, you look different, so obviously you might probably come from a different place. Let us learn about it. And that was more like a loving, open way to receive a stranger. And it made me feel and think a lot about what racism is, let's say in Europe, where someone who looks different, obviously, is perceived as, oh, you are an intruder, you should probably rather leave. It made me think about how strange that is, that in one place a difference can be perceived as something positive and people welcome you to their houses and want to learn more. And in, let's say in Germany or other European countries, where it's sometimes the other way around, it made me wonder, like, why does it have to be that way? Why can't we be received that openly everywhere around the world? Because I was really shaken by the amount of attention I got at times.
It's like and I assume it's like they showed you a lot of love because you.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of, I would really say, curiosity. And I found that amazing, to be so open and just wanting to interact with someone, because it could be obviously someone from a different place where they would never have been, or maybe never would be able to travel. So I absolutely loved that open-mindedness and the curiosity around other people from different places.
Yeah.
And it was also one of the things that I told myself, like, I want to be such a person too. I want to be open to receive, open to communicate, open to learn all the time, because it makes the world such a interesting and more beautiful place when we have that mindset, I believe.
So going into now, and obviously within the last year, how do you feel you have grown as a person?
Oh, the last year is the last year is, I would say, one of the years in my life where so many things have happened. I started my own business. I wrote my first novel last year, and this year was when I started preparing for it to be published early next year. And I started showing up on social media, which I didn't do before. So many things happened in my life this year where I would really say, like, wow, that was an intense part of my journey so far.
Yeah.
A very big learning curve, I would say.
So it's about adapting again and learning from where you come from and to where you are now. So it says about colourful life, and you've been on stages, TV shows, and as actress, and I assume this is all in Germany or in
No, actually, that was all in Kenya.
Kenya.
So yeah, when I was in university in Kenya, I was an actress for theater plays, for plays outside in high schools and schools, generally primary schools as well, and also for movies and TV shows. And it was a lot of fun. Most of it was improvised. So again, the word adaptation that you just mentioned again was a big part of it. Just stepping onto a stage, knowing a plot roughly, but having to improvise the words, the reactions, and just with the other actors and actresses, sort of improvising the whole play to a point where the whole audience was laughing, because a lot of it was comedy. That was a mind-blowing experience for me, because there's so much energy in that moment when you have to quickly adapt and quickly see, okay, what's going on there, and react to what the other actresses and actors are doing. I had a lot of fun when I did that. And I believe it gave me a lot of skills for the future and even now, where, you just step into a conversation or into a situation with other human beings, and you can adapt quickly and you feel fine.
Yeah, I learned about that when I did drama myself in school many moons ago. And they and they said about improvisation is a good way of learning things a lot better, because you're given a little brief to say, okay, you're going to come on from, for example, stage left, but we want you to think this is happening and it's down to you. So you then have to think in your own mind, how can it be? And if you're the lead actor or actress, people will then have to bounce off you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's very powerful, to think that when we quickly adapt and we are able to sort of take in what is happening around us, we can, have a strong influence on the situation. We sort of have an energy that can pull everything with us. And I think that's a great thing for humans to realize, how empowered we can actually be when we just adapt to the situation without fear. We overcome whatever barriers we have in our mind or in our emotions at that moment, and just be present in that specific scene, but also moment. You can think about life. It's the same thing, really.
Yeah. So going into the future, you said about your book novel being released. You said, is that going to be released next year, or is it already out?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you see for the future apart from the novel?
Well, many more novels, because I absolutely love storytelling, and I think it's a great tool for human beings to connect and to actually talk about life's journeys and what it means for different human beings. I think there's something to take away from every human's life journey that is beautiful to understand when you have put it in a nice story, be it a novel or a movie or a series, whatever you choose. So I want to tell more stories, and especially about topics that really move me, like empowerment and freedom and growth, and sort of unshackling yourself to really be who you are, so that you can experience life in a much nicer way. So I see a lot of work happening around that, be it in my coaching, be it in the writing or the mentoring that I also do with several people. That's absolutely my calling, I would say.
Okay. And to sum up, and this is what I like always asking, what would you say to anyone listening, watching? What would you say to them to be inspired for the future?
I would say the first step in really shaping your life's journey the way you want it to be, just start dreaming. Make sure that you dream, and you dream the most exciting dream that you can think of, the one that really brings out all the emotions, and you think like, I truly want to do this. And then you take it from there. Dream every day, take a bit of time to dream, and from there you will see that once you remind yourself of your dream all the time, your actions can also be aligned with that, because a dream paired with action is what actually takes you there and into the future that you probably envision, but you are sometimes scared to really go for.
Okay. And lastly, I know we touched upon the book. It will be from most book retailers when it's available, won't it? Like Amazon.
Yes, you can get it on all the big platforms. And of course, I'm happy, on my network, I'm going to share when it's out exactly.
Okay. And if anyone wants to reach out to you on your network, where is it best place to contact you?
Well, you can reach out on LinkedIn. That's the place where I'm most active. And just drop me a message and feel free to start a conversation.
And it's easy enough to search for Sabrina Lindner. I will put up, her name showed up in post edit in the corner saying your name, so people will know where to find you.
Yes, you can find me. Sabrina Lindner Coach is where I'm known for online, so you can find me under that name.
Sabrina, it's been a pleasure talking about your journey, because I know journeys can be long, can be short, but we covered everything really well, and I'm happy about that. But thank you for sharing your journey with us today.
Thank you for having me.
That was The Journey, hosted by Wise Words Imaging, hosted by David Hackett. Be sure to like, subscribe and listen to another journey coming soon.